In this video, we are going to discuss how to develop the equation of a circle given 3 points. Now, let's consider the following points. A at -6, -10, B at -4, 4, and point D at 10, 2. First, let's plot these points using our graphing paper. Point A will be at -6, -10, which is here. Point B will be at -4, 4, which is here. And our point D will be at 10, 2, which is here. By graphical method, we can determine the center of a circle by drawing a line segment that connects any 2 points in our given 3 points. So let's connect points A and B in this way. And now let's connect points B and D in this way. Next, we have to find the midpoints of these line segments. In order to do that, we need to get the average of our x and y values. So the midpoint of A and B would look like this. Let's write those points, A and B. The x for A is -6, and its y value is -10. Our x for B is -4, and our y is 4. So taking the average of these two values, we can obtain our x-coordinate. -6 plus -4 divided by 2 is -5. And for your y values, -10 plus 4 divided by 2 gives us -3. So our coordinates will be -5, -3. Again, the coordinates of our midpoint for A and B would be at -5, -3. So let's plot that point. -5 and -3 would be right here. Now, let's get the midpoint of point B and point D. So for B, our x is -4 and our y is 4. For D, our x is 10 and our y is 2. Now, taking the average of our x values, it would become -4 plus 10 divided by 2 is 3. Taking the average of our y values, we will have 4 plus 2 divided by 2 would give us 3. So the midpoint of B and D will give us 3, 3, which is somewhere here. Next, let's draw a perpendicular bisector for the line segments that we have formed. A perpendicular bisector is a line that divides another line segment into 2 equal parts at right angles. So from our midpoint, let's use a ruler to draw lines that are perpendicular to our lines AB and AD. Now, the point of intersection of these two lines would be the center of your circle, which is right here. Now, by approximation, we already know that the center of our circle is at 2, -4. And so our center, HK, is at 2, -4. Therefore, our H is 2 and our K is -4. Now, the standard form of the equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Plugging these values into our standard form, we get x minus, our h is 2, squared plus y minus, our k is -4, squared equals r squared. And so we get x minus 2 squared negative times negative will give us +4 squared equals r squared. To solve for the radius r, we can substitute any x and y value into our equation. So let's plug in a value for x and y. So let's say we'll consider point D. Now our x will be 10 and our y will be 2. So our equation will be, let's copy this one, 10 minus 2 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals r squared. 10 minus 2 gives us 8 squared plus 2 plus 4 gives us 6 squared equals r squared. 8 squared is 64 plus 6 squared is 36 equals r squared. 64 plus 36 would give us 100 equals r squared. So taking the square roots of both sides, we get, so our radius will be the square root of 100, which is 10. Plugging this value into our equation, we get x minus 2 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals, our r squared is 10 squared. Or let's copy this one and change this to 100. Now let's try to verify our equation of the circle and radius using algebra. So first we have to draw a circle of radius 10 that has this center. So from -4, let's move 10 units up because our radius was 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 point will be here. Now let's do that for all the other points. Now let's try to draw a circle and see if it touches these points. So as you can notice, our circle touches the 3 given points and the points 10 units from the center. Now, because we know that our radius is constant throughout our circle, we can form lines from our points A, B, and D toward the center, and that would be our radius. So let's try to draw a line from point A to the center. So this will be our radius. Now let's draw another line. Let's use a different color for point B to the center. And let's use another color for the radius of point D. Now, because our radius is constant, we can equate r squared, your orange r, equals r squared, your blue r, equals r squared, your yellow-green r. So this corresponds to this corresponds to that one, and this corresponds to this one. Now, the standard form of the equation of our circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So we can substitute this to our 3 radii. So let's consider first the orange radius. From this equation, our x is -6 and our y is -10. Our h and k are still unknown. So our equation will be -6 minus h squared plus -10, this one, minus k squared. This is our r squared for this one. Now, this expression is equal to this one. So let's also express our blue radius. Our x is -4 minus h squared plus our y is 4 minus k squared. Next, let's expand these terms using the special products rule for the square of a binomial. So again, let's recall that a plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Using this shortcut, we can expand these terms. So our a will be the first term and our b will be the second term. So if we expand these, it will become -6 will be your a, and you will have to square it. So it will become 36 plus 2ab. 2, your a is -6, and your b is -h, plus b squared, or h squared, plus, using the same rule, 100 plus 2 times -10 times -k plus k squared. This will simplify into 36 plus, because negative times negative is positive, 12h plus h squared plus 100 plus, because again, negative times negative is positive, 20k plus k squared. Now, this is equal to the expanded form of this one. So that will be 16 plus 8h plus h squared plus the square of this one. 16 minus 8k plus k squared. Now, to simplify our equation, we can transpose this to the left side, and the signs will be opposite. So our equation will be, let's copy this one, and then change the signs of this one. So that will be minus 16 minus 8h minus h squared minus 16 plus 8k minus k squared equals 0. So h squared and negative h squared will cancel, as well as k squared and negative k squared. These are your constants. If we add all of them, we get 104. And these are like terms. 12h minus 8h will give us 4h. And these are also like terms. And that will give us plus 28k equals 0. And we can move this to the right side so that our left side will only include those with variables. So our equation will be 4h plus 28k equals negative 104. So this will be our equation 1. Now, because we have two unknowns, h and k, we need to have two equations in order to solve for them. Our next equation could be this one. Now, let's copy the blue R, which is this one, and let's equate this to our yellow-green R equals R squared. So for our yellow-green R, our x is 10. So 10 minus h squared plus our y is 2 minus k squared. Let's expand this equation and it will become 100 minus 20h plus h squared plus 4 minus 4k plus k squared. So let's copy this one and equate that to this one. We can move this to the left side and reverse the signs. So it will become minus 100 plus 20h minus h squared minus 4 plus 4k minus k squared equals 0. So h squared and negative h squared will cancel. K squared and negative k squared will cancel. Now these are your constants. If you add them together, you will get negative 72. Now these are also common terms. Plus 28h. And these are also like terms. If you add negative 8 and 4, you will get negative 4k. equals 0. We can move this to the right side so that our left side will contain the unknown variables. So it will become 28h minus 4k equals 72. So this will be our equation 2. Now let's copy our equation 1 and equation 2 and solve for our unknowns. So let's copy this one and this one. Now, in order to solve for two unknowns, the coefficients of a certain variable must be the same. So what are you going to multiply for in order for it to become 28? So to simplify this, we will divide 28 by 4. 28 divided by 4 will give us 7. And so we can multiply this whole expression by 7. And our resulting expression will be 7 times 4h will give us 28h. 7 times 28k will give us 196k equals 7 times negative 104 will give us negative 728. And now let's copy this equation. 28h minus 4k equals 72. Now, in order to eliminate our h variable, we have to subtract both of these equations, this one and this one. 28h minus 28h will give us 0h. 196k minus negative 4k will give us 196 plus, because negative minus negative will be plus. So that will be 196k plus 4k will be 200k equals negative 728 minus 72 will give us negative 800. 200k equals negative 800. So we have to divide this by 200 and also divide this by 200 so that only k will remain. So this will cancel. K equals negative 800 divided by 200 will give us negative 4. So this will be your k. Now, in order to solve for h, we need to plug in this value into our equation, any of these. So let's use our equation 2. 28h minus 4, our k is negative 4. Negative 4, again, for this one, equals 72. 28h negative 4 times negative 4 is plus 16 equals 72. 28h equals 72 minus 16, which will become 28h equals 56. Divide both by 28 and your h will be 2. So the center of our circle will be at HK, or 2, negative 4, which is the same as our result earlier. And so the standard form of our circle would be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And it will become x minus 2 squared plus y minus negative 4 squared equals r squared, which will simplify into x minus 2 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals r squared. To solve for r, we need to follow the same steps that we did earlier. So if you will substitute values for x and y, you can solve for r squared. So let's try that. We can input x equals 10 and y equals 2 for our point D. 10 minus 2 squared plus 2 plus 4 squared equals r squared. 100 equals r squared. And so our radius will be 10, which is the same as earlier. Now let's try to plot this in our graphing calculator. X minus 2 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals r squared. And our points are negative 6, comma, negative 10, negative 4, comma, 4, and 10, comma, 2. And our center is at 2, comma, negative 4. So as you can see, our points are within the circle. And our center is here. And if you go up 10 units, you will be able to form the radius. Negative 4 up to this is 4, plus 2, 6, plus 2, 8, plus 2, 10, which is here.